The Surreal Life is an American reality television series that records a group of celebrities as they live together in Glen Campbell's former mansion in the Hollywood Hills for 2 weeks. The format of the show resembles that of The Real World and Road Rules, in that the cameras not only record the castmates' participation in group activities assigned to them, but also their interpersonal relationships and conflicts. The series is also likened to The Challenge in that previously known individuals from separate origins of entertainment are brought together into one cast. The show's first 2 seasons aired on the WB, and subsequent seasons were shown on VH1. Biography. 1942–1959, Early Life. She was born Tammy Faye Messner in International Falls, Minnesota, to Pentecostal preachers Rachel Minnie and Carl Oliver LaValle. Her parents were married in 1941. Shortly after she was born, a painful divorce soured her mother against other ministers, alienating her from the church. Both of her parents remarried, her mother to Fred Willard Grover, forming a large blended family, of which she was the oldest. 1960–1973, marriage to Jim Bakker, early work. In 1960, she met Jim Bakker while they were students at North Central Bible College in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tammy Faye worked in a boutique for a time while Jim found work in a restaurant inside a department store in Minneapolis. They were married on April 1, 1961. The next year, they moved to South Carolina, where they began their ministry together. Initially traveling around the United States, Jim preached, while Tammy sang songs and played the accordion. In 1970, she gave birth to their daughter Tammy Sue Sissy Bakker, and in 1975 gave birth to their son Jamie Charles Bakker. Jim and Tammy had been involved with television from the time of their departure from Minneapolis until they moved to the Charlotte area via Virginia Beach, Virginia, where they were founding members of the 700 Club. While in Portsmouth, they were hosts of the popular children's show Jim and Tammy. They then created a puppet ministry for children on Pat Robertson's Christian Broadcasting Network, which ran from 1964 to 1973. 1974–1987, I the PTL Club/I. None. 1988–1996, collapse of I the PTL Club/I and aftermath. None. 1997–2007, later life and illness. As her first husband was jailed and Messner then became diagnosed with colon cancer, she re-entered the public eye in a series of books, movies, and television appearances. She appeared twice on The Drew Carey Show in 1996 and 1999, playing the mother of character Mimi Babuk, who was also known for wearing excessive amounts of makeup. On September 11, 2003, Messner published a new autobiography, I Will Survive, and You Will, Too, in which she described her battles with cancer and her life with Roe Messner. She was the subject of a documentary titled The Eyes of Tammy Faye, narrated by RuPaul, and a follow-up film titled Tammy Faye, Death Defying. Despite her background in Christian fundamentalism, Messner became a gay icon after parting from PTL, appearing in gay pride marches with figures such as Lady Bunny and Bruce Vilanch. Unlike many American Christian fundamentalists, she had long refused to denounce homosexuals and also expressed compassion toward, and urged support for Americans with HIV/AIDS when it was still a much feared and unknown disease. In the 1980s she interviewed an AIDS patient on her program, making an impassioned plea to Christians to love and accept their gay brethren. She was benevolently referred to as the ultimate drag queen, and said in her last interview with Larry King that, when we lost everything, it was the gay people that came to my rescue, and I will always love them for that. In early 2004, she appeared on the second season of the VH1 reality television series The Surreal Life. The show chronicled a 12-day period wherein she, Ron Jeremy, Vanilla Ice, Tracy Bingham, Eric Estrada, and Tris Helly Canatella lived together in a Los Angeles house and were assigned various tasks and activities. Together, the six put on a children's play and managed a restaurant for a day. She also attended a book signing for her bestseller, I Will Survive. And you will too. At the end of the show, Messner said she thought of Vanilla Ice and Tris Helly Canatella as her children and could relate to them deeply because she had similar feelings and problems when she was their age. In July 2007, on more solid financial footing, the Messners relocated to Loch Lloyd, Missouri, a suburb of Kansas City. Jim Bakker had relocated his operations to Branson, Missouri, in 2003. She told Entertainment Tonight they had moved to the dream house to be closer to Rose's children and grandchildren from his first marriage. Death. Messner's 11 years with cancer were highly publicized. She was diagnosed with colon cancer in March 1996, and the disease went into remission by the end of that year. In March 2004, Messner made an appearance on Larry King Live and announced that she had inoperable lung cancer and would soon begin chemotherapy. She continued to receive chemotherapy throughout mid-2004. In November 2004, also on Larry King Live, she announced that she was cancer-free once again. She described the details of her chemotherapy and continued to appear regularly on King's show. A television documentary of her struggle with cancer was produced in 2004. It was on King's program again that she announced in July 2005 that her cancer had returned. In March 2006, Messner appeared again on Larry King Live. She said she was continuing to suffer from lung cancer, which had reached stage 4, and that she was continuing to receive treatment for it. She also mentioned having difficulty swallowing food, suffering from panic attacks, and enduring substantial weight loss. As her health continued to worsen, a Talk of the Town article in an October 2006 issue of The New Yorker stated that she was dying in hospice care, and a December 2006 article in Walter Scott's column in Parade reported that her son Jay was at a North Carolina hospice with his mom, gravely ill with colon cancer. Messner was a guest by phone on Larry King Live in December 2006, and said that she was receiving hospice care in her home. She appeared in her son Jay's documentary series One Punk Under God, wherein they talked about her cancer treatments. In one episode, she required the use of oxygen in order to talk. In May 2007, she issued a statement on her website saying that chemotherapy had stopped, and she urged her fans to continue to pray for her. The story was reported on NBC's The Today Show, and a feature in which fans and well-wishers could post get-well messages to Tammy was added to her website. On July 18, 2007, Messner made her final appearance on Larry King Live. At the time, she said she weighed 65 pounds and was unable to eat solid food. Messner's husband later said that he believed she chose to do the interview to say a final goodbye to her fans. On July 20, 2007, Messner died at her home in Loch Lloyd, near Kansas City, Missouri, after an 11-year bout with cancer. She was 65 years old. A family service was held on the morning of July 21, at the Messner family plot in Waldron, Kansas. The ceremony was officiated by Reverend Randy McCain, the pastor of Open Door Community Church in Sherwood, Arkansas. According to CNN, the family requested that King officially report the news of her death. Her remains were cremated and her ashes were returned to Waldron Cemetery where they were subsequently buried. Legacy. In June 2006, a stage musical titled The Gospel According to Tammy Faye opened at the Cincinnati Fringe Festival and was subsequently developed as a larger professional production. The show features songs by J.T. Buck and a book by Fernando Davalina. The musical is described as a fantasia which takes a balanced and fair look at its subject. The impetus for the show was provided by a lengthy interview that Messner gave the authors in March 2005. The musical aired in August 2006 in Portland, Oregon, and Hood River, Oregon, and it was presented on stage at Houston's Alley Theater at the end of July 2007 under direction of Leigh R. Wood. Industry readings presented by the Columbia Gorge Repertory Company were held at the Manhattan Theater Club in December 2007. The cast including Tony nominee Sally Mays and veteran Broadway performers William Youmans, Ken Land, Julie Foldesy, James T. Lane and Heather Parcells. The readings were directed by Mindy Cooper. Seth Farber provided musical direction. Another musical following her life, titled Big Tent, debuted in May 2007, at Off-Broadway's New World Stages, in New York City. The show features music and lyrics by Ben Cohn and Sean McDaniel, a book by Jeffrey Self, and direction by Ryan J. Davis. A star-studded concert of songs from the show opened in February 2008, at New York's Metropolitan Room. A play about her final hours, Tammy Faye's Final Audition by Mary Beekler, premiered at the Cincinnati Fringe Festival in June 2015. The play takes place in a fevered dream at the end of her life, wherein she enlists the men in her life for one final TV talk show audition. A musical about the life of Bebe Winans, Born for This, debuted on June 25, 2018, at the Emerson Cutler Majestic Theater in Boston, Massachusetts. Tammy Faye and Jim Bakker appear as supporting characters who give Bebe and his sister Cease their first big break as singers on the PTL Club. Broadway actress Kristen Chenoweth is reportedly planning a musical based on Messner's life. In the 2021 movie The Eyes of Tammy Faye, based on the 2000 documentary of the same name, Jessica Chastain plays Tammy Faye and Andrew Garfield plays her husband Jim. The Eyes of Tammy Faye opened on September 17, 2021. Chastain won a Critics' Choice Award, a Screen Actors Guild Award, and the Academy Award for Best Actress for her performance. British playwright James Graham also wrote the book for a new musical about Tammy Faye, with music by Elton John and lyrics by Jake Shears. The musical, titled Tammy Faye, opened in October 2022 at the Almeida Theatre in London, directed by Rupert Gould. Select discography.